It was back in the day. Toonami premiered Char's Counterattack at night, and I obviously stayed up late to watch it, and slept during science class the next day. This film was the end of a rivalry that lasted a decade between Char, Aznable, and Amuro Ray. A movie so badass I went out and bought a used DVD copy of it as a kid. The first DVD I ever bought, actually, because I was that hip. And DVDs were on sale because nobody was buying them. Blu-rays was the big thing. Fast forward to 2013, the 2015 timeline. I had an interest in Gundam model kits again, but obviously no time. So I'd occasionally look at the master grades that came out, and that was around the time that the Nu Gundam dropped. I kept saying to myself one day I would build that kit. Then I saw the Infinite Dimensions Nu Gundam resin kit. Not knowing what resin kits were, I assumed Bandai kits just came in such a level of badass that I couldn't truly fathom it. Fast forwarding again to when I started getting back into Gunpla around 2018, 2019, I bought the Infinite Dimensions kit. And after 4 years of it sitting in my backlog, I finally decided to build it in honor of the 35th anniversary of Char's Counterattack, which I am now 2 years late on. To start off, I grabbed an extra GK recast of this kit, just in case. I would recommend that you do the same if you somehow come across an original Infinite Dimensions Nu Gundam kit, because they're no longer made, and finding spares is all but impossible, unless you buy a recast. I used some liquid resin to reinforce some areas, or even out others, because the kit has a bit of shrinkage. It's a major issue here. Expect parts to have shrinkage between 5 to 10%. Of being too small. This is a major problem for the fin funnels especially. Luckily, I only had one fin funnel suffer from a size drop of 10%. I've seen people have as many as 3 or 4. I haphazardly cleaned up the posable fingers, getting rid of nub marks to clean it up. I know no one will really keep an eye out for these sort of things, so it doesn't matter that much. The arms are one of the most modified areas on this kit, and surprisingly, the changes are incredibly sturdy, and they look badass to boot. For the hell of it, the obligatory food break. Salmon, eggs, tuna, flying roe, and white tuna. Delicious, or as they say in Japan, oishi, or umai. When cleaning resin, I strongly suggest getting yourself a suction system. You don't want any resin dust in your eyes or your lungs. Trust me, I know. The legs on this kit get a massive overhaul as well, much like the arms. There's a lot of gutting out original pieces, cutting and modifying. It's important not to mess up these steps, otherwise you'll probably end up with some fitment issues that can be truly annoying. started using chrome tape. I came across this idea while checking out other builders from Asia. It gives you the ability to add chrome accents to your build without having to jump through the hoops of airbrushing in chrome and such tiny details, praying that nothing goes wrong, because it's so easy to mess up a chrome paint job. Here are the paints that I'm using. Gyno surfacers, for lighter colors and darker colors. I should use white, but I don't. I stick to grays and blacks. My own off-white painting set, along with other splash paints. Kaizo white and cool gray mixes. I'll do a review of those later. Gynos EX Black, Clear, Nazca Frost Black, Flame Red, Bright Red, yada yada yada. I'll explain how I paint black on another day, as I'm still testing out this idea, creating the illusion of light within the color of black, which isn't very easy. Removing masking tape and remasking other areas. Such a slow and tedious process on the level of adding decals, my least favorite part of the whole thing. I was in a mad rush to finish this kit before the New Year's, and I missed the mark by a day or two. Hand painting, this is a skill you will need, and I strongly suggest learning it. It can save you crazy amounts of time and gives you the ability to touch up small mistakes, nicks in paint, or masking issues, and not to mention painting pilot figures accurately. Please excuse the state of my hands. I spilt tool cleaner on them. Always remember, never rush when painting model kits. Oh, by the way, the brushes I use are Princeton Mini Detailer paint brushes, size 20/0, and Maestro Kalinsky Red Sable Da Vinci brushes. I recommend these big time, but only use them with acrylics. And by the way, the Da Vincis are expensive, so keep that in mind. But if you take care of them, they'll last you for a very long time. Here I'm using stencils to paint in the fin funnel details. I would say use enamel paints for this. So if there's any sort of overspray, you can easily wipe it off using the Gun Primer Solvent Bundle Set. Ordered these about a month ago and finally got a chance to use them. Once again, this is something I recommend. Maybe I'll do a video on this stuff later. And with that, we're pretty much done. I added a few metal detail parts that normally I would prime and paint, but I had so little time and I was rushing, so I guess we'll just go with the bare silver, and later on, when I get tired of looking at it, I'll rip them out and repaint them. After finishing the Nu Gundam, I realized it's still crazy unstable, and the supported base for it only does aerial poses. So I started chopping one up to make it, usable for a glass display where Nu Gundam's just standing. I then made a tiny error where there's a huge gap of space between the stand actually, helping it stand up and hovering in the air ridiculously. So I repaired it in the most ghetto way possible. And with that, I was finished. Sorry if the video seems grainy and has noise issues. My A7S III is a bit of a pain in the ass. At certain ISOs, there's no noise issues. But then if you put the ISO too high, the noise issues are gone, but it's too bright. So what are you gonna do? Maybe I should have went with Canon. And with that, as the man who gave me my first airbrush said, do great things.